Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Purnachandra Higher Secondary School. Okay, so in the previous class of motion in a straight line, in my previous video, we are discussing about the motion, types of motion, what is the difference between motion and rest, okay, what is frame of reference, what is position vector, what is displacement vector or distance vector. These things we have discussed in our previous video lecture. Okay. So in this video lecture, in this part, that is part 2 of this motion or this second class of your motion in straight line, we are discussing about some of the very important physical quantities. First of all, we are discussing about distance and displacement. Okay, so let us talk about first distance. What is the distance and what is the difference between distance and displacement? So suppose I will have a figure, very simple figure. All of you look at this figure very carefully. Let us name it. This is A, this is B, and this is C. So what happens? So this is a region, and how many places are there in a region? There are 3 places. Okay. So a person moves from A. A person moves from A, goes to C. Okay, through B. Listen very carefully. So that means his initial position is A and final position is C. Again I will repeat. This is my initial position. This is my final destination. Okay. So now, suppose a person moves from A, goes to C through B, through the intermediate place B. Now, he can also move from A to C directly. He can also move from A to C directly. Then, what does it mean? It means distance is nothing but the actual. Listen very carefully. Distance is nothing but the actual coverage, the actual path coverage by that object or by that body. The actual path coverage by that body or by that object. That is, from A to C, what is the actual path coverage? From A to B, B to C. Clear? So that means A to B, AB plus BC gives me the distance. Clear? Gives me the distance from A to C. Actual distance from A. So this is now the initial position is A, the final position is C. So when the object is moving from A to B, B to C, now this is the actual path coverage. So this is AB plus BC. So this gives my distance. So distance is nothing but the actual path coverage by an object. Actual path coverage by an object. This is my distance. And remember, distance is a scalar quantity. It is not a vector quantity. Distance is a scalar quantity, so its value, the distance value cannot be 0. The distance value cannot be 0, cannot be negative. So it is, the distance value is only positive. Listen very carefully. Okay, so distance is a scalar quantity. Scalar means it is having only magnitude, there is no direction. Clear? There is no direction. No direction means if it starts from A, move towards C, what is the distance? If it starts from C, goes towards A, the distance will be same. That means in the calculation of distance, the direction does not matter. Okay, so that's why it is a scalar quantity. It is having only magnitude. Clear all of you? Okay. So now, and its unit, its SI unit is meter. The SI unit of distance is meter. Okay, so if I will go to the dimensional formula, then what I can write? Now m0 L1 t to the power 0. So this is the dimensional formula of distance, m0 L1 t to the power 0. Very simple. So this is about the distance. Okay, so the distance can never be 0, can never be negative. It is only a positive value. Okay, so now come to the second part, that is your displacement. That is your displacement. Now displacement, come to the that same example. Let us move to the same example. Okay. So displacement is very careful. Displacement is the shortest path coverage. Displacement is the shortest path coverage in between the initial point and the final destination. So in this figure, which one is the shortest path? The AC is the shortest path. Okay. So displacement is nothing but the important is shortest path. Okay, in between the initial and final position. That is a very important point. Okay, and another important point, displacement is a vector quantity. It is not a scalar quantity. Displacement is a vector quantity. Okay, so when we are going to calculate the displacement in between the two region, okay, or in between the initial and final position, then the direction of the motion of the object matters. It's a very important thing. For example, if look at here very carefully. For example, this is your suppose a number line. Okay, this is your origin. Okay, now this is suppose I will name it in this manner. Then we all of you know that in the number line the right to that origin, suppose this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is -1, this is -2, this is -3. All of you know that. Okay, so this gives us the positive value, this gives us the negative value. The same thing happens. That means suppose a object starts from A. Listen very carefully. Suppose an object starts from A, goes to B. Okay, then if it starts from A, goes to B, then the distance is this AB. Okay, now if it starts from A, goes to here, suppose now this is your B dash point, which is at the same, look at here, which is at the same position but to the left of it. Clear? So that means if from A to B dash I want to find out the distance, then this distance must be equal to this distance. Listen very carefully. If I want to find out the distance in between AB and AB dash, the distance remains same. Okay, because distance is a scalar quantity. But if I want to find out the displacement, then look at here, the displacement is a vector quantity. So A to B gives us the positive displacement and A to B dash gives me the negative displacement. Because it is in the reverse direction. The direction becomes opposite. Clear? Because it is in this direction, it is in this direction. Right to it, this is left to it. It will give me the negative displacement, it will give me the positive displacement. So that's why displacement is nothing but the shortest path in between the initial and final position or in between the two regions. Number one. Number 2 point, it is a vector quantity. Okay, so as it is a vector quantity, so its value can either be 0, can either be negative, can either be positive. Again I will repeat that the value of displacement can either be 0, can either be negative, and can either be positive. How it can be 0? A question can be in your mind, sir, how the displacement can be 0? Very simple. Look at this same example. Look at this same example. Suppose a object starts from A, goes to B, and again it will return back to A. Suppose an object starts from A, goes to B, and again the same object again return to A. Then what is my displacement? The displacement, simply the value of displacement becomes 0. Because it will return to the same position. So what is the shortest path? 0. Because the initial and final position is present at the same point, the same place, the same region. Understood? So that's why in this case, when that object goes to a destination, again from the destination to return to the same point back, then that in that situation the displacement becomes 0. Understood all of you students? Okay. So it's a very, if you compare these two, so distance is a scalar quantity, displacement is a vector quantity. Distance is the actual path coverage between the initial and final position, whereas displacement is the shortest path in between the initial and final position. Clear? Its value always be positive value. Understood? Its value is always positive. It cannot be negative, it cannot be 0. But whereas the displacement value can be positive, can be negative, or can be 0. Clear? Because it depends upon the direction. The direction from where the object will move from the initial position. Understood all of you? Clear. So this is the important difference between a distance and displacement. Understood all of you? Clear? Okay. Or if I want to describe, listen very carefully. If I want to describe the displacement in terms of position vectors, look at very carefully. Suppose this is a frame of reference, or you can call it as a coordinate system. So this is origin. Okay. This is x-axis. This is y-axis. Very simple. Now, suppose the object is present over here, then it will move to this point. That means this is your point A, this is your point B. Understood? So now, from the point A, with respect to origin, this is my position vector. From point B, with respect to origin, this is my position vector. Suppose I will name it, this is R1 position vector, this is R2 position vector. Okay? Then I want to find out the displacement, the minimum or the shortest path in between A and B. Listen very carefully. So again I will repeat, displacement is a vector quantity. So that's why here the displacement is nothing but, listen very carefully. Here in this vectorical representation, the displacement is nothing but the change in position vector. The change in position vector. At first the position vector is here. Then now the position vector is here. So the change in position vector in between the 2 points A and B. That means simply I can write the displacement AB vector. Okay, that is equal to, but I can write very simply R2 vector minus R1 vector. Simple. Vectorically, again I will repeat. This is vectorical representation of the displacement. So displacement is nothing but the change in position vector from one point to another point. Clear all of you? Look at very carefully. So this is one position vector. This is another position vector. So this is the change in position vector. This is very important. So the change in position vector gives me what? The displacement in between the 2 points. This is very simple. This is the representation. So it is nothing but the shortest path. In between which 2 points? Point A and point B. So AB position vector is equal to R2 vector minus R1 vector. Clear? So this is how we can describe summarily or briefly about the distance and displacement. Clear? So now I think all of you clear fundamental idea about distance and displacement. Next, we are moving into a very important term, that is your speed. That is your speed. Another important concept in motion in a straight line, speed. Every object which are moving around us, that object is having a particular speed. Clear? So what does it mean, speed? Okay, so speed means, listen very carefully, speed means the rate of change of distance. The rate of change of distance is called speed. Not a particular direction, because it is a scalar quantity, it is not a vector quantity. So direction doesn't matter. So only I can define the speed in this way. The speed is nothing but the rate of change of distance. That means change of distance with respect to time gives me speed. Clear all of you? Very simple. So that means suppose x is the distance covered. Listen very carefully. Suppose x is the distance covered at a time t. Okay. So now what is the speed? Now speed is equal to the distance covered divided by t. Speed is equal to x by t. Okay. Again I will repeat, where x is the distance covered and t is the time required to cover the distance. Time required to cover the distance. Understood? So speed is nothing but the rate of change of distance of an object, moving object. Okay? Here define the speed. Clear of you? Okay. So speed is, listen very carefully, speed is nothing but, the speed is nothing but a scalar quantity. That's repeatedly I mentioned there, it does not depend upon the direction. It is having only magnitude. Okay? So speed is a scalar quantity. So what is the dimensional formula? What is the dimensional formula? Very simple. X is the distance covered. That means this is L1. Time. So this is T1. Okay. So that means this is m0 L1 t to the power minus 1. Very simple. So this is my dimensional formula of speed. Okay. And what is my unit? Very simple. Meter per second. SI unit. Remember, this is SI unit. Meter per second. Okay. So this is your speed. This is the concept of speed. It is a scalar quantity. Clear? Okay. So now, with this concept, with this fundamental idea about the speed, now let us differentiate between 2 points, that is your uniform speed and non-uniform speed. Let us differentiate between uniform speed and non-uniform speed. Let us differentiate between these two. What do you mean by uniform speed and what do you mean by non-uniform speed? Clear? Okay. So now, first of all, let us discuss about the uniform speed. Very simple. So if, listen very carefully, if the object or the body travels or covers equal distance in equal interval of time, if an object or a body travels or covers equal distance in equal interval of time, then that type of motion is called uniform speed motion, or that type of motion is having a uniform speed where the object travel equal distance in equal interval of time. Clear? Okay. That means I can take a very simple example. Suppose a object suppose freely fall. Suppose an object is freely fall. Freely fall means freely fall towards the ground directly. Then it is having a uniform speed. Clear? Okay. Or if I will take suppose a object A, okay, object B, object A travels 5 meter, okay, in 2 seconds. Suppose, okay, and object B, look at very carefully, object B covers 10 meter, okay, object B covers 10 meter. So it will cover equal distance. Listen very carefully. It will cover equal distance in equal interval of time. So this is covered by 5 meter, 2 seconds. Okay. And suppose the object B, the object B, it will also cover suppose 5 meter in 4 seconds. Look at it very carefully. Okay, so that means if I simply draw this graph, if I represent it graphically, okay, so that type of graph is called a distance versus time graph. What is called? Distance versus time graph. This is my time and this is my distance. Distance covered and this is my time. Very simple. Okay, so distance I will take it in x-axis and our distance is taken in y-axis and time is taken in x-axis. So now I will just name it. So now suppose these are the things I am just renaming here. Just have to scale it. So this is the origin. Okay. So time. This is 2. This is 4. This is 2. This is 4. 6. So this is 5. This is 10. This is 15. Okay. So now in 2 seconds it will cover how much? 5 meter. In 2 seconds, it will cover 5 meter. In 4 seconds, it will cover 10 meter. Understood? So, if I will join these points, then I will get a which type of curve? I will get a straight line curve. Which type of curve? I will get a straight line curve. That means it will cover the equal distance in equal interval of time. The two objects covers equal distance in equal interval of time. Understood? The ratio, look at that ratio. It's very simple. Look at this ratio. Every ratio is there. So this is my the object A. This is for object A, and this is for object B. Clear? The object A, object B, they will cover up equal proportion. So that's why that type of motion where I will get a straight line curve in between the graph between the distance and time. That type of curve for uniform speed. Understood? Understood all of you? Okay, that gives me uniform speed. Because they are moving in equal proportions. Understood all of you? The A object and B object move in equal proportions. So that type of motion is called uniform speed. Uniform speed. Understood? Then come to non-uniform speed. So non-uniform speed is very simple. Suppose the object covers unequal distance. Listen very carefully. Suppose the object covers unequal distance in equal interval of time. Understood? Suppose the object covers or travels unequal distance in equal interval of time. That type of motion or that type of speed is called non-uniform speed. Understood? Okay. So let us now take the same example. Suppose object A, object B. So they will cover unequal distance. So this is 5 meter in 2 seconds. Suppose this is how much? Suppose it will cover how much? It will cover 10 meter in again 2 seconds. Listen very carefully. Okay. Then object C covers suppose 15 meter in 2 seconds. Then look at this. Object A covers same 2 seconds. In the same 2 seconds it will cover 5 meter. Object B covers same 2 seconds 10 meter. Object C covers in same 2 seconds 10 meter. Okay, so that means if we will compare these two, then ABC compare these two, ABC covers unequal distance in equal interval of time. Understood? Okay. Or suppose we are moving in a circular path. We are moving in a circular path. Okay. Then in this circular path, any circular path. So what do we call our that it covers, it cannot, the time interval may be same, but the covering or the distance covered becomes different. Clear? Okay. So that means if the object covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, then that type of motion is called your non-uniform speed. That type of speed is called non-uniform speed. Understood all of you? Okay. So now next let us calculate. Let us know about average speed. What is your average speed? Let us discuss about these things. So average speed, let us define first. Average speed is nothing but the total distance covered by the object divided by total time taken by that object. The average speed is nothing but total distance covered divided by total time taken. Understood? So total distance covered divided by total time taken. This is your average speed. In this way we can calculate the average speed of an object. Okay, of the same object. Clear? So now that means suppose your object A, okay, in 2 seconds it will cover 5 meter. Then same object A covers in 4 seconds it will cover suppose 10 meter, okay. Then same object A in 5 seconds suppose it will cover 12 meter. So now if you have to find out what is the average speed of A, if you have to find out what is the average speed of A, then I can find out. So speed average is equal to the total distance covered 5 plus 10 plus 12 divided by total time taken 2 plus 4 plus 5. Just if you calculate these, then you can get the average speed of the object A. This is an example. Okay. So now in this calculation of average speed there are some special cases. Let us discuss about the special cases. It's very important. Okay. Let us discuss about the special cases. So what are the special cases? Now suppose a object. Now case number 1. This is your case 1. Okay. Suppose an object A. Okay. This is very careful. Suppose an object A travels a distance S1, S2, S3, S4, ... Suppose the object A travels a distance or distances S1, S2, S3, S4 with a velocity V1, V2, V3 or velocity V1, V2, V3, V4. That object is having velocity V1, V2, V3, V4. Then what is my average speed? The average speed becomes S1 plus S2, the total summation S2 plus S3 plus S4 divided by S1 by V1 plus S2 by V2 plus S3 by V3 and so on. This is the case 1. This is very careful. This is the case 1. Okay. Then come to case 2. Case 2. Okay. So case 2, that same object I will take A. The same object I will take A. But here the condition is that the A object covers equal distance. It will cover equal distance. That means suppose S1 is equal to S2 is equal to S. Suppose. Okay. But the velocity becomes different. The velocity suppose becomes V1 and V2. Distance is same, but velocity becomes different. Then what is my average speed? The average speed becomes, let us put this condition in this equation, so distance becomes same. So that means in the above, in the numerator, what I can write? S1 plus S2, so S plus S, both are same, divided. Velocity becomes different, so S by V1 plus S by V2. Clear? So just solve it. So by solving it, what I can get? The average speed. Average speed is equal to, so S1 plus S2 is your 2S divided by, if I will solve this, so what I can write? The SV2 plus SV1 divided by V1 V2. So that is equal to, let us take it common to the above. So what I can write? The 2S V1 V2 divided by S common v1 plus v2. So s has cancel out. So what I can get 2v1 v2 divided by v1 plus v2. So listen, the case 2 is very important. So what I told just now, if the object A covers equal distance, s1 is equal to s2, equal distance, but the velocity of the object becomes different in these two situations. Understood? That means suppose the object covers the your 10 meter distance. Suppose the object cover 10 meter distance with 5 meter per second, and your that same 10 meter again in the next time the same 10 meter it will cover 20 meter per second. So in this situation the average speed formula is simply this one, 2v1 v2 divided by v1 plus v2. If the distance remains same but the velocity remains different. Understood? This is case number 2. Then come to case number 3. Then come to your case number 3. So case number 3 is your if the object case 3. If the object, listen very carefully. If the object is moving, okay, with a velocity v1, v2, v3. If the object A is moving with velocity v1, v2, v3, velocity, or you can tell speed. Okay, so if the object A moves with speed v1, v2, v3, okay, at a time interval, so very careful, time interval t1, t2 and t3 respectively. t1, that is the velocity v1 covers at a time t1, the velocity v2 covers at a time t2, the velocity v3 is at a time t3. Clear? So in this case, what is my average speed? The average speed becomes how much? Now v1 t1, v2 t2, v3 t3 and so on, divided by total time summation, that is t1 plus t2 plus t3. This is the formula. Listen very carefully. Again I repeat, if the object or the particle or the body A, okay, travels with the velocity v1 at a time t1, or travels with the speed v1 at a time t1, v2 at a time t2, v3 at a time t3, then what is the average speed? Now this is the average speed. Clear? Okay, so in this same situation, again I will tell, in this same situation, suppose the object A, this is the case number 4. Suppose in the same situation, the object A is having velocity v1 and v2. Listen very carefully. Object is having velocity v1 and v2, but at a same time interval, the time interval becomes same. That is t1 is equal to t2 is equal to t. Okay, so that means at same time interval, the object A is having a velocity v1, is having a velocity v2. Okay, again I will repeat, the object or the particle A is having a velocity v1 at time t, the velocity v2 at time t. Then what is the average speed? So average speed is equal to how much? The average speed just put at the value, so time period becomes same, only velocity. So v1t plus v2t, two cases, with 3t, with 4t can also take. So this is t plus t. So this is t all into v1 plus v2 divided by 2t. So tt cancel out. So v1 plus v2 divided by 2. This is my case. So these are the 4 important cases. Remember very carefully. Okay, to calculate the average speed of an object or of a body. Clear? So this is about the average speed of an object or a body. Next, in that part, let us discuss the last one, that is instantaneous speed. What is that one? Instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed. Clear? So instantaneous speed means the speed of an object or a body at a particular instant of time. Again I will repeat, if the speed of an object at a particular instant of time, that gives me instantaneous speed. If I calculate the speed in a particular instant of time, that gives me instantaneous speed. And the mathematical representation of instantaneous speed in this, then because we know that what is your average speed? Average speed is total distance covered divided by total time taken, or change in distance divided by change in time. Very simple. Okay. So now the mathematical representation of your instantaneous, that is limit del t tends to 0. So that is your change in distance. Suppose ds divided by change in time del t. So this gives me ds divided by dt. So this is my instantaneous speed formula, ds divided by dt. Okay, so ds divided by dt gives me the instantaneous speed of an object, or the instantaneous speed of an object at a particular instant of time, ds divided by dt. Clear? Okay, so this is the instantaneous speed which gives me the speed of an object or a body at a particular instant of time. So that's why the time tends to 0. Clear all of you? Okay, so this is the concept of your speed. In the next class we are discussing about the velocity, average velocity, okay, then your instantaneous velocity, acceleration, average acceleration, instantaneous acceleration, and so on. Okay, so have a good day.